If you're thinking of moving to Nashville, here are some top things you should consider before you do. I'm Ryann Lalli.
And I'm Elizabeth Taylor. We're two realtors in the Nashville area, and we're excited to be here with you today, excited to help you on your journey.
The first thing you should consider is your budget. How much are you willing to spend every month? Are we looking to buy or are we looking to rent?
One of the things I've discovered when I'm helping people move to this area is it's best to set up a customized search for them. So we're looking at where are you going to be going to work? Are you going to be working from home? Where do your children need to attend school? And what is your budget like? Because all of that is going to create a customized search location for you based on that. And you want to be figuring out, what part of Nashville is important to you. Like, is there an area that you're drawn to? And what have you found in the North Nashville area, Ryan?
As of right now, I think our North Nashville area, which is Nashville proper, is one of the most affordable areas. As you kind of move out to the west and east, it gets a little more on the pricey side. 12 South Sylvan Park is kind of one of our most expensive areas until you get down into the Green Hills and Belmead area, and then it goes up from there.
And I have moved a lot of families here with children, and so I've moved, depending on the budgets and what the needs are, I've found myself moving people to maybe the Lebanon area. That's pretty far out, but some people want to be that far out, depending again on their budget. So Lebanon, we have up north, we have Mount Juliet and Hendersonville. I'll move a lot of families there. I've also been moving families to Murfreesboro a lot because sometimes people love Williamson County, but I always remind people, if you want to move to Williamson County, keep in mind that it's the 5th or 6th wealthiest county in the whole country. So you're competing with that popularity of everyone wanting to live in Williamson County, but maybe your budget doesn't fit that. So sometimes going right outside Williamson County into Rutherford County or Sumner County, which is Hendersonville, all of that, kind of creating that customized search again with the clients is really important, I've discovered.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not 100% sure on your budget, we can actually recommend a lender that can help you kind of figure that out. They'll give you a better idea of what you can afford and where that might be.
Yeah, that will help, again, create that customized search for you, because I'll have people come to me that they think they know what they want and they know the type of housing and they know the pricing, but it's so important to get that pre-approval letter from a lender, and preferably a local lender. I find in the Tennessee area, it's all about who you know and it's all about relationships. So you increase your chances of actually getting an offer accepted when you're working with that local lender. So those connections are everything, and they help set you up for success when you're looking for a home. The second thing to consider when you move to Nashville, Tennessee is your lifestyle. Lifestyle is everything, right? Like Absolutely. It dictates, what you're doing on the weeknights or the weekends. And so I work with a lot of families. I've moved probably more families here than anyone. And I've discovered, again, like we were talking about before, I've moved a lot of families to the suburb areas because, again, schools are so important to a lot of these families coming in, and they want to know that their kids are in a good school they're going to thrive in. And then, the parents need to figure out what their commute time is to where their work is. So all of that is going to really factor into the area that you relocate to.
Yeah, absolutely. If you are more of a nightlife kind of person, you kind of want to be probably a little closer to downtown, not necessarily downtown, because the locals don't really go downtown. We try to stay on the outskirts. East Nashville is pretty artsy. It's got a great bar scene, and more keep popping up every month. We get probably 3 new bars monthly.
Wow.
If you want to go more west, it's a little more young professional, I would say. Vanderbilt's over there, so you get a lot of medical. You were thinking more 12 South. It's super trendy, super cute little boutique shops, a great little strip of stores and restaurants. If you have more of a nightlife lifestyle, the inner metropolitan area is probably where you would like to be.
I would agree. Yeah. Yep. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is number 3, the commute. Commute time is very important, and so I'll talk to a variety of different people from around the country. If they're coming from California, they don't think our commute time is bad, but if they're coming from small town USA, they think our commute is the worst they've ever seen. So it's all about perspective, but at the end of the day, you got to figure out, what are you comfortable with? How many hours are you willing to spend in the car to drive to work if you're not remote? Because there's so much remote lifestyle happening right now, which I see all the time as people are looking for properties. Some of them want an office, but the rest of us, they're driving into a location. So we got to figure out, how long are you comfortable with being in the car?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you were to pick like a Murfreesboro area, it's about 45 minutes into the city from Murfreesboro on a good day with light traffic.
Yes.
So That's something to really consider when you're moving here as far as work goes, or where your child's school is, or whatever kind of commute you're going to have to do that day. I would really take that into consideration.
And we can help you with that too. A lot of times when I'm setting up searches for people, I'll kind of create a little bit of a radius.
Yep.
We'll kind of convert the minutes to miles, and then I'll create like a little radius on the map for you to kind of figure out what are you comfortable with. I just moved someone here from Austin to Mount Juliet just recently, and that's exactly what we did. It worked out perfectly. We looked in the Hermitage area, the Mount Juliet area, and that radius can really make a difference to help you determine what's the best decision for you.
Yep. Number 4 is no state income tax. We are one of the very few states that have that, and what that means for you is the more money you make, the more money you get to keep. And who doesn't want to keep all their money?
No kidding. One thing I've noticed when I'm moving people here, Ryan, is that they're a lot of times choosing between Tennessee, Florida, and Texas. And I feel like one of the big reasons that people choose Nashville, not the main one, but one of them is that we're kind of like Nash Vegas.
Yeah.
People feel like they're going to Las Vegas. Yeah, they want to have that experience in Nashville with their cowboy boots and the hats and all the things. But on top of that, not having a state income tax is really appealing to a lot of people because, again, they are trying to keep money in their pocket. So it makes a big difference, and it really does help you find ways to cut costs where you can.
Yeah.
All right, number 5, we're going to talk about the housing market, which is what everyone's most concerned about, understandably. It's been a wild ride because the last 2 years we were incredibly short on inventory because so many people, I think maybe 150 people a day were moving here. The numbers have gone down slightly. We're thinking to around 80 people moving here. Not every year, every day is what I meant to say. So just so many people still moving here, but the inventory, while it was extremely low then, it's still low now. It doesn't really feel like that because we feel like we have a little more to choose from as a buyer. But what I've discovered in my role recently is you still don't want to sit on the sidelines. If there's a home that you want, you need to jump on it.
Yep. Things still are moving pretty quickly if they're priced correctly.
Right.
So whether you're selling or buying, you kind of have to jump on what you want.
Yeah, I get a lot of calls where people will ask me, they'll send me listings and they're like, tell me about this house. Why is it still on the market? I'm like, well, there could be a few things happening here, but typically I'm seeing that it's been overpriced. Either the seller is not understanding or their realtor, is not understanding the comps that they're looking at, but there's some sort of adjustment that needs to take place. So it's pretty easy to figure out once you start looking at the listings, like, why is this still on the market? There's either something wrong with the house or it's overpriced. So there you go. On that note, another thing to consider are the current interest rates. We're sitting here in September of 2023 right now, and I believe the interest rates are a little bit above 7%. So, that is obviously factoring in to the low inventory because I've been telling people sellers are holding on to their houses a little bit longer because they have incredible interest rates they don't want to give up. While on the other end, buyers are not wanting to pull the trigger as quickly because of the high interest rates. So you have like this little tug of war happening that's actually been causing low inventory, and buyers are hesitating a little bit. So, but again, you don't want to pause. If there's a home that you love, and I say this from experience, it just happened last night to me. Somebody had me write an offer for them at 9 p.m. And wouldn't you know it, this house that they've been sitting on for about a week considering, somebody came along, wrote an offer and got the house under contract at 9 o'clock last night, and we lost out. So that is why if there's something that you like, don't wait, don't hesitate, get that pre-approval, get with us. We will help you secure the home and get it all squared away quickly.
Yep, and there's always refinance, so.
Absolutely, yeah, when the rates go down.
They will eventually go down.
Yeah, they will.
They're not always going to be so
We're
high.
counting on that, can you tell?
One last thing you should probably consider is our weather. We have pretty mild weather for the most part of the year as far as our temperature goes, but we do have these things called tornadoes. They are few and far between, but they are definitely something you should consider if you're not used to that. I come from South Florida, where I'm very used to hurricanes, and they used to be a little bit of a party when we knew that they were coming, but that was only because we can prepare for them. Unfortunately, with tornadoes, there's not much you can do to truly prepare, and they come at awkward times at night when you're asleep, and the whole family's asleep, and you hear that sound, and you gotta kind of figure out your tornado plan. How do you feel about that?
The good thing is meteorologists are very aware of this, and they will sometimes days in advance start preparing you for this tornado. So for example, I've moved a ton of people here from out of state, and that is one of the top things, especially if you're coming from the great state of California, that they're concerned about are tornadoes. And I was like, guys, your earthquakes are scarier to me because you literally can't prepare. But for tornadoes, they almost over prepare us, and there's I don't know if you've noticed, there's been a lot of times where they prepare, and then it doesn't happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's almost like a big upset, you know, and everybody's upset at them. I'm like, well, at least we were prepared.
Yeah, I'm not upset.
Because they'll literally, here in Tennessee, they'll shut down schools, they'll shut down all kinds of things, and then you're like, oh my gosh, it's sunny outside.
Yeah.
Nothing even happened, and it passed right over us. But it's better to be safe than sorry. So I would say between tornadoes and thunderstorms can feel really scary to a lot of out-of-state people as well if they're not used to it. Just all the lightning and the thunder, again, at awkward times of night.
Yeah.
Coming from Colorado, like I talked about before, I wasn't used to it either. I wasn't used to the tornadoes or the thunderstorms at night. You know, I prefer to sleep at night. And so it's been a little bit of an adjustment, but it's been helpful that they do prepare you. And so you kind of know what you're walking into. And so I recommend to a lot of people when they're moving here to get these cool apps on their phone that will alert you. It's obnoxiously loud, but it will wake you up if you need it. Have you ever had to do that?
Yeah, definitely. I'm terrified of them, so I am up. If they're telling me that there's a possible tornado, I am up until they tell me all clear.
Yeah.
I have yet to go through one, which I'm very grateful for, but I'm always ready. So.
Another thing I would add to that is people coming here from out of state, a lot of times, I don't know if you've noticed this, they will ask for basements. We don't have a lot of basements here in Middle Tennessee because we're built on bedrock.
Right.
And so what I tell people is to find like that safe room in their home. And typically you'll have like a pantry or a closet in the center of the home. That's the safest place. Some people have their helmets for their kids or whatever it is. Like find your safe place. And if you're not home, I recommend finding a large brick structure like a Target or a Walmart or a Walgreens or, you know, name a retail location because typically those are large brick structures and plan to hang out there. It sounds crazy, but I actually dodged a tornado a couple of years ago by running into a Target and I was safe there. So you always want to find those locations in advance and kind of just have a plan in your mind of how you're going to handle it.
Yeah, know your escape route.
That's right.
So those were our top things that you should consider before moving to Nashville.
We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We love sharing about our area and we would love to help you. Consider us your resource and your guide for anything you need, anything Nashville related, we are it. So look in the description below. You'll find our email addresses, phone numbers, whatever you need to contact us. We are available and we're excited to help you get here to Nashville.